Hey, it's me, it's PLD.
And I'm Richard Eric Jarvi. Welcome to Class Action. And the reason why I was chuckling is because of the thumbnail. It looks a little not, it's awesome, but it looks kind of funny. Like DiCaprio and I don't know, something about their like facial expressions. Just it's
That's the first you've seen the thumbnail? Did I not show it to you this week? I might have
you
forgotten
haven't
to.
shown me this one, no.
I might have forgotten to show you this week. I like it. I love it. I love Jacob Patrick. All of his thumbnails are awesome.
No, same here.
Much appreciated, man. Yeah. Actually, it's funny. Like, looking at that, it looks like he's. If you look quickly, it almost looks like he's like Marty McFly. Like you look quickly, I don't know what it is about the way
A little bit, but they're
So
like complete. Like one of them looks like a creepy, mellow. I don't even know what that's supposed to be. Well, sure, a nun, but the face is kind of. It's just
I
weird.
love it. I love it. Anyway, welcome to Class Action, guys. You can see from that thumbnail what we're doing this week: The Town versus The Departed. Boston crime at its best. And here we are. And what do we do here in Class Action? We take these two movies. We take these two not comic books, what I say comics for, two franchises, two directors, two actors, anything we want to put them up against each other, and we throw them into a mix, put them against 5 custom-made categories that we come up with to determine who is the winner at the end of the day. The steel cage bloodbath of a war fest. I'm just kind of talking about. I don't even know it anymore, but I love the how we do this. I love this is going on. Jarvi, how are you doing? How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. It's a freaking blizzard outside, just like it is for you. So it's kind of weird.
Actually, it ended up not being very snowy as much as I thought. I was told there was snow, and I walked out. There wasn't that much snow, so we're still getting snow from last week, though. So I've had enough snow already.
It's kind of weird that we're like on the opposite sides of the earth, and our weather is kind of the same.
Yeah, it is still strange at this point. I got to move somewhere warm. I'm done with snow, but
You got to go to LA.
I thought about it. Actually,
You
the
can
wife has
work
said,
with Action Industries and everything.
yes.
Get involved in the Schmodown.
That's too
It's
much.
all laid out there for you.
But it's a little too expensive, I think, for my taste at this point. But, the wife wants to go to Oregon, which is actually closer, though, so it's not too bad.
Is that where Drew grew up?
Yeah, Drew grew up in Oregon, actually.
Yeah.
I haven't even told him that. He doesn't even know what I'm talking about. But, I mean, we're talking like 15 years down the line. I got to get retired first, or anything, probably. But either here or there, we're just shooting the shit here.
Everyone needs a retirement plan, like Ben Affleck had at the end of The Town.
Nice segue.
Like he was chilling.
Nice segue. You're a professional. That's why I have you on this show with me.
I've never heard that before, but I'll take it.
Anyway, though, these are two great movies. I love both these movies a lot. Both Boston-based, obviously, both big crime dramas. We've got veteran director Martin Scorsese versus young director at the time, Ben Affleck. But they both have these interesting takes. They both adapted from some previous material. But I like what they do. You said one before, actually. I'll throw it out there and throw me under the bus. Anyway, you said you wanted to do The Town versus Heat.
Yeah, so much. Like I'm still a little. I was like, should I pull an audible on PLD and just say like, fuck it, let's just pull Departed out and put Heat in, because they're like two of my favorite movies of all time. They're both heist movies, and I feel like The Town, I don't want to say ripped off, but I'll say borrowed from Heat quite a lot. Like quite a lot. I get the Boston aspect. That's why Departed fits better, but that's, I don't know, like the vibe and atmosphere and the overall feels kind of different for these two movies. And it would be more similar with Heat, but we're going to break it down into categories, and I think it's still going to work out fine because it's going to be a different kind of matchup, but I'm still looking forward to it.
It is. No, and you're right. I mean, The Town is definitely inspired partially by Heat. Heat inspired a bunch of different movies. Obviously, it's inspired The Dark Knight. I mean, it's definitely an influential movie. And I see where you're coming from. I absolutely do see where you're coming from. I also pitched The Town versus Gone Baby Gone. And again, two Boston dramas by Ben Affleck. Gone Baby Gone, of course, with Ed Harris. But also because it made sense for me, Boston crime, some crimes going down. But I get what you're saying as well. But at the end of the day, actually, I believe this was pitched by Braden Buckingham. I want to say that. If it wasn't you, Buck, and you're watching it with somebody else, please let me know, because I know somebody pitched this to me a while ago, and I said, "Oh, yeah, I'll do it someday." And someday it's finally happened after a little bit of a pushback, a little bit. We went different directions, but we're finally going to do it. So therefore, this is actually proof. If you do suggest something to me, I will try to get it done. At some
It
point,
might be the first time though.
It might be.
Taking
It might
this
be.
suggestion.
I know Ferris Bueller has been pushing for the old Fast and the Furious thing forever now, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. I'm just going to wait and see. Maybe when F9 comes out, maybe they'll do that. I'll even have him guest on it because he's been waiting so patiently for it. But without further ado, let's get right into it. We do have those 5 categories, and look what's happening.
What's
You
that
hear that
music?
again? You hear that again? It's my daughter's phone. And the same thing happened last time. So I'll be right back. You
So yeah,
go ahead and talk
I'll
about
break
the
down
next
the
subject.
categories. Yep. So before we get into some of the games that we play, I'll just say the categories up front that we're basing which is the better movie: Departed versus The Town. So first off, we have better leads. We're going DiCaprio and Damon versus Affleck and Renner. We got better script. Then comes better adversary. This one we'll explain. Better fist bump moments. That's kind of borrowed from AMA, and we're proud to do it. And the 5th one is the better underbelly of law and crime, like which depicts that better. So I just gave the categories before some of the games that we play. I figured since you're back, you would want to introduce one of the games.
I'll introduce the games, but I do want to say I actually have tried to fix this on her phone. She said she installed some kind of app and deleted it. Now it just goes off no matter what. We can't find a way to turn it off. So I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to do it. I'll have to keep it by my side. So we'll just start with this stop right away. That's what I'll do next time. But anyway, either way, I apologize for that. Let's go into our game. We do have a shorter day today. I do have a heart out. So we're only going to play one of our games today. And it's my favorite one, of course. What would Ed Harris play? Look at that guy. Just go through him a little bit. Oh, God, he's so good. He's
beautiful human being.
Beautiful. And then we'll end on, Brigadier General Francis X. Hummel. But what we do in this is we take Ed Harris, who's obviously my favorite actor of all time. If you're watching this and you don't know that by now, I don't know what to tell you. But he always adds gravitas to the scene. He always can legitimize a movie. He makes any movie, he makes a good movie great. He even makes a bad movie watchable sometimes.
Agreed.
So what we would do in this case, we would take Ed Harris and insert him into one of the roles that are in these movies, or in some cases, one of our more fun exercises, and we'll write a new role for him that isn't in the movie, but we'll make it work. We'll put it as somebody's father.
I did that. I wrote
a
new role. Of course, I forgot that we were supposed to do Ed Harris like I do every time. That's what's supposed to happen now. So I was at the gym. I'm like, you said we're playing one of our games. Like, fuck, haven't done Ed Harris again. So I'm like, okay, I think I've got one. The one for Departed is kind of a boring one for me, though. But I'll probably let you start for The Departed.
Okay, that's actually interesting.
Or do you want to save that one?
No, it's fine. That's fine. For both films, I will say, I'll throw it out there. Both films, for me, there's a plethora of roles that he could have played in these films. In both films, I had 3 potential possibilities.
Did you really? Wow, that much?
Did.
Yeah, sure. He fits into a lot of these, and there's similar appearance similarities, but there's also because there's so many, the guys that pulled the string, so to speak. So he could be any one of them.
And you could age the character up, you could age the character down, depending on if he's going to be in it. So the ones I came up with at the end. For The Departed, I toyed initially with the Martin Sheen character of Captain Queedon.
Yeah, me too.
Because he does that kind of role in Absolute Power, where he's the good guy cop and he knows what he's doing, but he's sometimes a little bit overwhelmed and doesn't quite get it under control.
That's not him though.
Sheen
has kind of I don't want to say he's definitely not wimpy, but he's sort of softer, that you can see his soft side. And I'm I'm not sure if I want to see Ed Harris do that in this movie.
Right, exactly.
Right?
You're going to use Ed Harris in this movie. You don't want to do that. So I mean, I'd say toy with it. Again, like I said, Absolute Power was kind of that similar type character, but I went, no, I can't do that. I toyed with Nicholson. I toyed with.
Oh yeah, I couldn't do that. Because Nicholson is the movie.
Absolutely, but you've seen Ed Harris do the kind of thing in State of Grace, where he plays the head of the mafia.
Yeah. I just couldn't do it to Nicholson.
I get that. I know. I'm not going to say you can't, because I do. I told you. I didn't end on that one. That's not where I ended. Okay. I did toy with it though. Where I ended. Well, actually, you know what? I did toy with you. I toyed with it very briefly. Was Mark Wahlberg's character?
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see
I
that.
mean, he'd age him up a little bit, but he has that kind of like feisty attitude. You could throw in there. But again, I kind of liked. I went there, but nah, I decided not to go there. I ended up. It's actually 4 rules I kind of could have went through. The one I ended up with was the Alec Baldwin character, Captain Ellerby.
Me too.
You did. Same left, right?
Me too. Yeah, I went with Ellerby or what?
Ellerby, yes. Because he seems like he has that kind of thing. The scene where he flips out.
Yeah, exactly. Flip out. Yep.
Exactly the moment. The intensity that he could bring to that character would be even better than Baldwin, I think. Baldwin does a good job, don't get me wrong. But I think Ed Harris would have totally went over the top in this role and it would have totally sold it for me even better. I would love it even more in this case. I think that's why I ended up on it. Because like with Nicholson, I would have liked it probably equally. With Sheen, I probably would have liked it maybe a little better, but Dingham, I would have liked it probably a little better. But I think he wipes the floor with what Baldwin does, to be honest with you. I like Baldwin stuff. But I think
me too. But he's had a weird sort of time in his career when Baldwin, I mean, in The Departed. He's sort of like, he's past that lead, like handsome young guy, but he's sort of not aged into this, sort of this Liam Neeson kind of type.
Right.
So he's sort of in between there.
He's not old man tough yet.
Yeah, exactly. There's no old man strength there.
Old man strength there. So that's where I'm going to go with that. So we both end up in the same way. That's cool to see. I don't mind that.
I did toy around with Ray Winstone as well. Sort of have him, but still that I felt like that character. And if we're going back to 2006, he could have done it, but I don't know. Ray Winstone also has this sort of gruff quality about him that I just couldn't switch out.
Yeah, I hear on that. I could see it though. There's actually the funny thing is, you're looking up and down the list. There's plenty more characters he probably still could have played that he would have been able to pull off a little bit. He could have played some of the toughs underneath Costello. I know I could have told that off very well. Kevin Corrigan's character. He could have been a bunch of different people, but you know what? At the end of the day, I'm happy with where I am. Let's move on to the town. The town again. I had about 3 characters that I could have put him in.
Did you?
I did. You obviously went a different direction. So
I did.
You know what? I'm gonna just because I want to hear your different direction.
Okay, so mine's complete Hail Mary that I just came up with.
Okay.
But I figured I want to, since I knew my Departed wasn't like that exciting, so I need to create a new character. Like, who would I have Ed Harris play so the town would be even better than it is? So when they're doing their final heist, I think it's Postlethwaite's character who gives them the sort of the jobs, right?
Yep.
So during the bank heist, we find out that Postlethwaite has hired another crew as well because he doesn't trust Ben Affleck's crew. So when they show up, they're both robbing the same place, but Ed Harris is a team of like veterans. Like, they've been doing this shit for 40 years, and they show up they're like, who are you? What the fuck are you doing here? This is our job. We're taking over. And they sort of have this confrontation right there, sort of this new age heist team versus these old veterans who know their way around.
Kind of like an expendable situation to a degree.
Exactly.
That's an interesting angle.
So
all right.
It's kind of ridiculous, but
it would probably totally change the vibe of the movie. But I can see that. But I can see it work. Well, that's actually funny too. I actually had him play a smaller role in this. I did toy with a couple of things. I toyed with having him be Postlethwaite, the florist.
Yeah, me too.
He could do that kind of role very well. I also toyed with, you know what? I should say it's smaller parts. I toyed with him. I'm switching up. I'm audibly right as we speak. I was about to land on him playing Chris Cooper's part. Ben Affleck's father.
I know. Me too.
Because I toyed at that. I almost ended up on that, but it was too small a role for me. I'm going to blow your mind here. I think I'm going to blow your mind here.
Oh, no.
Because I don't know. On rewatch, I liked it. I love this guy. I didn't like him as much as I usually do on over some rewatches.
I hope you're not doing what I think you're doing.
I'm replacing John Hamm.
Yeah, I can live with that. You can live
with that? Okay. Because, I mean, I'm a big fan of John Hamm, don't get me wrong. I just feel like Ed Harris should add a little bit more grizzled vet to the role. I feel like John Hamm is quite in this role. He's not quite same thing as it was like an Alec Baldwin kind of thing. He's not quite that. He's just too leading man to be the head of the FBI task force. I want a guy who's like older, tougher. He's been around the block a little more grizzled. I think he'd be even a little more intense than Hamm was. Hamm's almost too campy. Not I don't know, campy is the right word.
He's swarmy,
It's
but I kind of like the
cheesy.
fact that he's sort of like he's sort of like a sleazy FBI agent that you're
Right,
rooting against him. You want him to fail, but he keeps succeeding. So he's like this
right,
like annoying cockroach that
right.
like fucks up your plans. But that's why I love him. But still, I see your point. I see your point.
I mean, it would change the character. It would change the
Hmm.
tone of the movie, absolutely. And I don't even know if it would be for the better, but I would like to see him try. I think that's what it comes down to. The Ed Harris game. I like to see sometimes a little differences in how the movies would be. I think I would like the movie just as much, but I agree it would be a different take. I do
Hmm.
like John Hamm's character, so that's where I ended up with. But you know what? Let's get out of here. Let's get into our categories. We're going to break these down before the time runs out. The clock runs out on us. I do want to get right into that. I'm very excited. The funny thing is, we used to do a game called what do we call it? The flat. I'm it's totally blanking.
Jesus, I'm blanking as well.
Sudden.
No,
Or,
off the no, not off the cuff.
I can't believe we're failing this badly.
Snap judgment.
That's it. Thank you so much. Snap judgment, where we would pick our things like who would we want, and we never did at the beginning. We kind of went into it, and then we recently cut it out for good reason. We kind of figured we found that it kind of ruined a little bit of a thing. I think in this week we could do it, and it wouldn't ruin it because honestly speaking, I don't. But the problem is I don't have a snap judgment. I
My
really
snap
have
judgment
no
is a tie.
idea. Yeah, exactly the thing. We had a tie last week. I don't want to have a tie this week.
No.
But I don't have anything invested in any of these films. Like last week we went Inside and Out versus Soul, or 2 weeks, whatever it was. I liked Inside Out better as a movie overall. I knew that going in. So to me, that made an easy snap judgment for me. I love both these movies pretty equally for different reasons. I'd be okay if you tell me at the end of the day Departed wins. Okay. You tell me at the end of the episode that Town wins. Okay. Nothing really, but it wouldn't bother me at all.
I'm different on that because The Town for me is a top 50 movie all time. Like it's my all timer. Departed is not even in my it might be in my top 100, but it's not in my top 50. I do love rewatching The Departed was sort of eye opening for me because I'm like, fuck, I've forgotten how good that movie is. So I am biased, but I would be completely fine if The Departed wipes the floor with The Town. Like that's okay.
That's cool. All right, so it's a no because that might just happen. We don't know at this point. I will say both of these films to me are ones that I do forget how much I like them until I rewatch them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's pretty cool. Yeah, that's pretty cool. That's pretty damn cool. So I'm here and there. But let's just get right into it. Let's get into the better leads. Now, to me, The Departed had 2 leads, and The Town had 1.5 lead. To be honest with you. And neither one of them is Jeremy Renner. That's the way I look at it. I love Jeremy Renner. I don't see him as a lead. For me, we got to, the funny thing I should actually pulling the curtain back a little bit. We have these categories. We don't necessarily agree on what
we kind of got into it before the show.
We did. So we're both going to explain what we mean because at the end of the day, we're still arguing the category, even if it's a difference of opinion of what goes into that category. It's like we're arguing which meal is better if we have different ingredients. Better lead for me, The Departed. We have the 2 leads, which are Matt Damon and Leo DiCaprio. The two, I don't like Thomas. I'm old.
You can't blank on DiCaprio.
I know that guy. I was trying to say Costigan and DiCaprio at the same time. That's what it was. So I said Costigan. That's what it was. I was like, no, you know what I mean, though. Damon and DiCaprio. But in The Town, or you had argued initially to me that was Ben Affleck and Jeremy Renner. I think it's Ben Affleck and Rebecca Hall. That's what I see at this point to it. Because honestly, I almost see The Town. Like I read this in a review once, and it kind of stuck with me. The Town is almost like a romance with a lot of action around it.
Yeah, that's the weakest part of The Town, in my opinion. Like nothing against Rebecca Hall, but something in her just like she was on the level of Skylar in Breaking Bad for me. She was like, I could not get I couldn't friggin' nope. So that's why I'm like, Renner and Affleck, that's the true bromance right there. That's what I want to see. Like, I don't give a crap about what happens to Rebecca Hall.
I do love Renner. I don't see him as a lead as much because the story never really focused as much on him until the end. When he gets his blaze of glory, that's when he becomes a leading character to a degree. Too much of the rest of it's about Ben Affleck's character specifically. Whereas Departed, the whole film basically centers around the cat and mouse of Damon and
All they're
and,
different kind of
DiCaprio.
structured movies that way. So
Right.
yeah, they're definitely
At the
more on
time.
the same level. And Affleck is a
So,
little higher than everyone else.
with that being said, I actually agree with you a little bit about Rebecca Hall. So to me, The Departed wins this because I love both Damon and DiCaprio in these roles. The cat and mouse game between these two, and even if you were, say Affleck and Renner, it'd be a lot closer. But I think I'd still lean Departed. I think I'd still lean Departed because Matt Damon is phenomenal in this role. And actually, DiCaprio is just as phenomenal in this role too.
I'd say DiCaprio even better than Damon.
I think DiCaprio is a little more flashier in this role. That's the difference.
Yeah,
He's more flashier, so I don't want to say it's better, but it's definitely flashier. Damon has to play it in a different kind of solid way. He plays this like it's like a shit weasel, but he can't be a shit weasel.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So it takes a lot of effort to play that role so well that only the audience knows the shit weasel. Like the shit weasel, generally, everybody knows the shit weasel. Everybody hates everyone. Punches guns. He has to come across like knowledgeable, top of class, likable, and everything else, and yet we know he's a shit weasel. So I give him a lot of credit. I think he's underrated in this role, to be honest with you. But I love their chemistry, like with everybody else, and then their chemistry together when they finally get together. They have this great fire between them that I love seeing, even though Damon becomes a little bit of a whiner at that point. But it's like it works for that character in a way.
Do you mean the elevator scene?
Yeah, the other like the rooftop scene and everything else.
Kill me now.
Kill me, man. Or like, oh good, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm arrested. He starts like trying to like play it off. Civilians arrest. What are you gonna do? This is like big, almost like a frat play kind of thing. It's awful. But it works for the character. Whereas Ben Affleck's great. I love Ben Affleck. He's actually probably the most down to earth of the four.
Definitely, yeah.
And I think, honestly speaking, that's going to be a running bit for me, The Departed versus The Town. That The Departed is more of a clever, intricate story, where The Town is more earthy and real and gritty.
It is, definitely. And the performances exactly capture that.
Yes.
Same vibe.
And I loved Affleck in it, but if my vision says Rebecca Hall is the lead, she doesn't compare comparatively to Damon and DiCaprio. Or, to be quite honest, or Vera Farmiga as well. Vera Farmiga, I take it much better than her as well. Therefore, I give it to The Departed.
Yeah, it's the easy choice, and it's probably the obvious choice, which doesn't make it the wrong choice. I'll be honest. I was decided on The Town. I felt like it's definitely the underdog in this category because I don't know if Damon got an Oscar nom as well. Did he? I know DiCaprio did. I know almost all of the cast did, but so as you look this up, so yeah, we got Damon and DiCaprio. DiCaprio is like an exposed nerve. He's like freaking out there in every way. Did not
actually. Okay. Damon and DiCaprio didn't. Mark Wahlberg got the best. Got the nom. Mark Wahlberg got the nom for supporting role.
Wow, which I love. I think it's an amusing performance, but I'm not sure if it's Oscar worthy.
Yeah, Leo got the Golden Globe nom for the best actor.
Wow, well that doesn't really mean anything.
Doesn't. Who cares? I think that might be what we're thinking about though, as far as like a nomination goes or something though. Either way.
Hi, the foreign press, you're watching. We love you. So yeah, it's two different kinds of sort of schools in this regard, because Affleck and Renner, they're just like you said, they're down to earth, they're gritty, they're very toned down, sort of. They're playing like Affleck's character work almost shouldn't work because he's stone-faced the entire time. He's so serious, he's so gritty but somehow that makes him an even more interesting character. So the reason why I wanted to go with The Town in the first place is he doesn't do much. He does so little, but he does the same thing in The Way Back. Sort of, he's playing this sort of suppressed character so well that when he blows out, you're like, wow, okay, I can see that. And that happens we'll get to the fist bump because it's one of my fist bumps. And Renner surely is the more flashier part. But your arguments sort of, I don't know, they almost swayed me.
I love when they sway
because
you.
I do like their back and forth, and the fact that they don't meet up for almost the entire way of the movie. But no, I'm sticking to my guns here. I'm going with the town and Renner and Affleck. I think Renner, although, got a some sort of nom for the town. I think he did, and for good reason. But
Yeah,
yeah,
Renner was nominated for the Academy
okay,
Award for supporting
there we
actor.
go. So I'm going with the town. Their chemistry together, that sort of brother relationship, everything. Yeah, I'm going with the town.
I'm okay with that. Actually, I'm very much
Yeah.
okay with that. I do love, especially if you're putting Renner in that role. I think my hesitation of putting Renner in that leading role hurts that for me because I don't think he is. But if you tell me that this is your choice, Renner is the leading guy, I totally get that argument a lot more, and I can totally see it going that way for me as well. I guess sometimes it's not even just the category; it's how the category is made up. We're going to find that out maybe later on as well. But without further ado, you're going to start the next one. We're going to go with better script.
Better script. Okay, yeah, you came up with this one. I'm like, dude, have you read the script? Do you know what you're talking about? But
I kind of meant more better story.
Yeah, I know what you meant. I don't know. We were just like butting heads in this episode more than we usually do.
True. That's true.
So this, I think this has to go to The Departed, because the town, when you strip away the performances, you strip away the fist pumps, the music, the sort of, you look at it as a story. It's not an original story. It's a heist movie in Boston. It's sort of cookie cut, it's
right.
But you look at The Departed, it's almost like too smart for its own good, because I almost watched the movie for the first time. Like, I had no fucking clue that Jack Nicholson was a mole. I completely had forgotten about that. It's DiCaprio's child that Vera Farmiga's having. I was like, wow, this, and at some point I'm like, I've got no idea who's double crossing who's what is happening. And of course, the snappy dialogue. There's so much there, but also there's so much improvisation, which isn't the script, but sort of you have that snappy dialogue, and I think that if you don't have that good of a script, you're not going to get that sort of improvisation. So that sort of fuels the other one. So yeah, I don't like it, but I have to go with The Departed on this one because it's just a superior script and a story.
I'm gonna say I agree with you entirely. What you said is basically what I was about. What I would have said. I wrote that too smart for its own good. It's a little too clever comparatively, especially comparatively. Have you ever seen the original, The Internal Affairs?
I haven't. No, I
haven't seen that either. So I'm actually kind of curious to go back and watch that at some point if I can. See how it differs. Besides the obviously making white guys in Boston.
I've seen The Raid too.
Yeah.
I've heard comparisons drawn on The Departed and The Raid 2.
I have not. I actually haven't heard those. I guess now that I think about it, I could see that to a degree.
He's also going undercover.
Yeah.
Way more fighting, though.
That. True. Way more. It's more of a martyr. Yeah, that's definitely, which is not a bad thing necessarily.
True.
But no, I agree too. I agree that it is a very intensely like crafted, intricate piece of storytelling. You can't help but applaud. The Town is much more of a straightforward film. There's not a whole lot as far as like twists and turns to it. It's very good. It's a very good story. The dialogue's snappy. I feel like the dialogue is very, very real.
It is.
I want to give it credit. It feels like it's very, very true to the characters. The story does have ups and downs. It is hampered a little bit though by the romance. I think I agree with you. It's too much of the romance. I don't mind a good romance, and I think the romantic angle can be well played. But I think there's a romantic angle in The Departed. That one works well. That one works well and to the story's advantage. Whereas this one kind of tends to just take away from some of the stuff I want to see more of in The Town. So yeah, I'm going to go with that as well. I'm going to say that it's going to be The Departed, not by a whole lot, but by enough.
Yeah, it's a comfortable win in this department.
Agreed. Now we're ready to butt heads again, right?
Yeah, we are.
Ready to butt heads again. The next one is Better Adversary, and this is the other one. Same thing we had before. We had a little trouble going back and forth as to who are the adversaries. And this is where the film structure comes in to making it. It's not as clear cut as some of our films have been before. The argument I made, you didn't like, is I'm putting Damon in this category as well. To me, he's a lead, but he's also an adversary. To me, if you have to put a protagonist and an adversary, to me, it's Costello and Damon are together against Costigan. Costigan is, even though Damon's a lead with Costigan, and the story's about them two in cat and mouth with Costello kind of being over the top. And even though Damon and Costello, spoilers, have the falling out at the end, and Damon's definitely much more in the line of fighting for himself and everything else. The crux of the story is Leo DiCaprio's Costigan is trying to out Costello and out Damon as the adversary. So that's why I have to put that there. Whereas the town, I almost remind you of more. I don't put Jeremy Renner as an adversary. Only because I did. Because quite frankly, the whole movie, Ben Affleck's working against Jeremy Renner's fucking attitude problems, is his hostility, his emotional issues, like everything that goes wrong to Ben Affleck's character is mainly because of Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner being too fiery, too much in his head, too much.
Doesn't screw anything up really. He actually helps him when it comes down to.
Well, no, because he's a friend of his. It's not like it's like an active adversary. It's like I'm trying to work. I think they're brothers. Well, they grew up together. They grew up together. Like they're not brothers.
I thought they were actually brothers.
No, he got orphaned, or when his father went away, he got. I believe when his father got away, he grew up in.
I think you might be right.
He's dating because Blake Lively is his sister, is Renner's sister.
Do you know why I think that? Because when the scene happens where they were going to hurt some people, he goes up to like, "What did you do? What did you do to upset my brother?"
Yeah, it's brother is in like we're brothers.
Yeah, different names.
But different names. That's what it is. And Blake Lively is Renner's sister. Remember, that's who he's dating, kind of. Also, that's
that would have been weird.
So, but to me, Renner is not like an active, like I'm working against you, but Renner works against everything that Affleck wants. Affleck wants to get away from his life, wants to get away with his girl, wants to get away from the town. And Renner's
like, almost fucked up with the girl. Like Renner is coming in, dude. You gotta get rid of this girl because she's bad trouble.
What is his goal? What is Ben Affleck's goal?
What's his goal?
Yes, what's Ben Affleck's goal?
Oh, he wants the girl.
And also what? To get out of the lifestyle. To get out of the town.
Yeah.
Renner's an adversary to all of that.
No, but he just wants the girl because he's in love. He can fall out of love.
I am talking about what is the definition of adversary? Working against but
they had a great thing going on in this case.
Right now, you're my adversary.
Rebecca Hall is the villain.
Right now, you're my adversary.
To pull Ben Affleck out of that life.
Right now, you're my adversary. You're working against me here. Even though we're brothers, you're working against me. Right now, we're adversaries. So this movie, Jeremy Renner is technically an adversary. But I know we're arguing too much about this because I didn't end up doing it. But I had the argument ready to go. So the argument is actually, for me, it's Ben Affleck versus John Hamm and Pete Postlethwaite, because those are the two who are against him at that point. But with that being said, this is where Hamm loses it for me. This is why I'm giving it to The Departed for this as well. Because Hamm loses it for me. I'm not as big a fan of Hamm in this role as I am with others. Postlethwaite almost steals it for me. I love.
He's great role.
He
that
does
accent,
so
that
much,
Irish accent.
So much with so little screen time. He's much more important to me than Hamm is. Like the way he just evilly just talks about Ben Affleck's mother.
Cutting his flowers, so the fact that he's a florist makes him even more evil.
It's just so dripping with it's icky. It's like disgusting. It's like scummy. This is his last role too. I believe this was his last role before he passed away. I might not be right. I might be wrong with that.
So this is one of these moments where I found out that a celebrity has passed that I did not know about.
Oh. You didn't know he passed?
Nope.
And he passed in 2011. This was his last role. That was his final role. Less than 1 month after his death, he was nominated for the BAFTA for the Best Actor in a Supporting Role for this movie.
I did not know that. Yeah. Wow. So, rest in peace.
He did have I'm sorry, I should say this again. He had one release after called Killing Bono, but this was the last movie released while he was alive. So
okay.
He had one more after. But either way, yes, rest in peace. He is a phenomenal supporting actor in a lot of movies. So he really upped the ante for me in this one quite a bit. But then I turned around, I got Jack fucking Nicholson, and I got Matt Damon in that same role. working against it like that. The cat and mouse is the best part about The Departed. It's that because he's such a worthy adversary that way. So to me, it's still kind of a no-brainer. I mean, John Hamm does do a good job. He does, like you said before, his character is one that's sleazy, but he gets the job done. He keeps getting.
You want to hate him, but he's actually the good guy, which is also a cool sort of turnaround.
Absolutely. I just think that Costello and Damon are more meatier adversaries to me.
And Costello even more, like the way, like he's like some of the best stuff that he does is improvised. Like the start of the movie is like, gee, he felt funny. Like that wasn't scripted, and the fact that where he drops the revolver, that's also like unscripted.
I love the porn shot or the Extra X movie they go to the movie scene, and he comes out with the black dildo. It's so great. It's because he's so eccentric and so out there. He doesn't give a fuck. I own the theater. I love that about him. I love that about Jack. So those two to me, Jack easily beats John Hamm, and I have the secondary Damon, and probably I like Postlewaite more, but Damon's in more of the movie to give more of a full-on adversarial role. So I got to give it to Departed.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards that one as well because but like your reasoning for John Hamm that he's sort of that he might be the weaker part of that equation sort of makes him the like I can't stand the guy. He's doing so well. He's like, and I also like the fact that like you would have recast him as Ed Harris, but I sort of like that he's the opposite of Ben Affleck. Ben Affleck, sure, he's older than John Hamm, but you can like John Hamm, he's physically capable. He's mentally right there. He's like following their every move. But you don't want him to. You don't want him to be that good. Like you can see him finding out information, like working with his detectives and everything. So you're rooting against him. But I love the fact that I was rooting against him. So that kind of made him a great character for me. But you said it. It's Jack Nicholson. It's the best thing one of the best things that Jack Nicholson's ever done. And I'm not even like comparing Matt Damon in this. This is just John Hamm versus Jack Nicholson for me. And it's got to go to Costigan. No. Costello. Jesus, that's confusing.
I know it is. Don't worry, continue that way. That makes sense, though. I like that. I like that a lot. I agree with you. So Sullivan is Matt Damon. So at least that's an easier one. You don't have to get that confused. A lot of Irish Boston names there. I love it.
Sullivan, Irish and Italian. Costello feels like an Italian name. No?
Yeah, Costello is actually more of an Irish. I believe it's more of an Irish name.
No, yeah, it makes sense. No, they're all Irish. Yeah,
because they're all Irish people. So at that point, you just threw me for a loop. I was like, is it? No, it's an Irish.
It does sound like it could pass on as an Italian.
It does have that vowel.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's Irish.
Castelnuzio.
There you go. Like me. All right, let's go on to fist pumps. That's your lead us on the fist pumps.
Oh yeah. This is the scene that I've been like holding back on, and it's in the town. It's one of my favorite scenes of all time. Is when Ben Affleck is going up to Jeremy Renner. He's just going, I need a favor. You can never ask me about it again. We're gonna hurt some people. Jeremy Renner thinks, long pause. Car we're taking.
So great.
Dude, I've used that like I've had a few times in my life where like I've got asked one of my best friends, like, I'm in a bit of a shitty situation. Don't ask me what happened. Can you just help me out? I need some help with this. And it works. It works because they know what I'm talking about as well. And
yep. I am right there with you on that, by the way. Let me just throw it out there. I want you to continue with your fist pumps. That is my favorite fist pump of both movies. So go ahead.
Yeah. But honestly enough, like The Departed, we can talk about The Departed together because there's like so many great moments, but in a way that's sort of I'm having having a hard time like pulling one. And the only thing that I could come up with is actually Mark Wahlberg being a total dick to everyone, but then like ending up as the hero, the protagonist at the very end, because he does what you wanted DiCaprio to do.
Everybody to do, right?
But he's like he's like grilling him the entire time. He's giving him such a shitty time. But that's like the brotherhood in the Force. You're sort of, I know I can fuck with these guys because they're my own. No one else can. Because if you fuck with them, I'm gonna end you. And that's exactly what happens.
Yep, I love that. You open the door and he's there.
Yeah,
you're just like you see him with the
slippers and everything.
Slippers ever. You're like, oh fuck yeah, oh fuck yeah.
And that hair, like Mark, like that. He should not be having that kind of like sort of like weird hair to have for such a hard ass character. It's so weird. It's such a weird hair. It's like I can see like give me a wimpy character. I don't know. That's in the Heat. So in Heat, I mean the guy who's fucking Al Pacino's girlfriend, I think, or someone. It's a hair for a shit weasel character, pretty much.
Yeah, it really is. I get.
But it's Mark Wahlberg, and he's cursing, and he's being a badass, and it works.
It does. It really does work. It's awesome that way.
But I haven't made a decision though.
You're still going.
Fuck. Now I just kind of want to pick Mark Wahlberg, but I can't. It's the town. It's sort of that moment has defined me and sort of the way I look at friendship. So it's gone way beyond what a movie does for me.
It's a brotherhood thing.
Exactly.
Totally
exactly.
I get that too. I would say the only one I can remember off the top of my head that I really liked from The Departed was kind of a small fist pump. It was a fist bump nonetheless. When Sheen's character Queen is killed because they figure out where they are and DiCaprio gets away and whatever, but then they have to shoot out there and they get brought back to the bar and they're in there and the one guy calls him over and he's like, I gave you the wrong address.
Oh yeah, that's the holy shit moment.
Like, but then you hear him say like, you basically let him know that he was actually working with him too.
Everyone's a mole in this movie.
Everyone's a mole, right? Exactly. He's like, I know, it's all right, man. Like I'm not gonna wait. Like, and you see him like calm down quickly and everything else, and like just that quickness of Costigan's characters. Like, all just quick, no hesitation. Fuck, I gotta do this. But it was this great little like moment. Like, oh, that dude, he couldn't give it away, but he was working for the good guys. Awesome.
Which is an interesting thing that you said, working for the good guys, because I think what this movie does, it sets up, it's something that Jack Nicholson says, like, are you one of the good guys or the bad guys? Like,
right.
When you're facing a loaded gun, does it really matter?
It really matter.
And dude, that's like, if I'm being aimed at by the freaking police or a robber, what's the difference if I'm gonna get shot? Like, seriously, that kind of has you thinking. So there's like a psychological aspect in there as well.
Absolutely. But
and there that reminded me that I can't remember the actor's name, but the one who dies was a mole. He also has this weird, like a really funny Irish accent. When they're having conversations in front of the bar, he's like, "Did you pay attention, cop?
Cop.
That's a cop.
That's a cop. Cop. And then he comes out.
You're a fucking cop.
Cop.
Like, whoa!
What the fuck did you say? That kind of thing.
And that's a cop calling another cop.
A cop, right?
So he's like, "Whoa, what happened there?
What the fuck, man? What the fuck?" My head blown all the way. It was a great way to actually depict. It was such a subtle way to depict Costigan's like descent into like anxiety, or like you get to feel his anxiety. You see the hair trigger, and it's like, it's totally true, man. Holy shit, that's a fucking scary situation to be in. Not something that's easily done.
And he handles it like he blows out. He has these moments where he breaks down, but sort of like he's got this. Look at my hand. It's always steady. Like that moment was such a cool moment.
It was great.
Yeah,
so good.
Does not shake.
Same time now. Here we are. We're talking about Departed. I still go to the town for the same reason.
I gotta go as well. Yeah,
that one is worth. I mean, it's not that that's the only one. There's a couple other ones in there that are really, really good. I love the stupid one that I think Ben and Drew talked about on Action Movie Anatomy. The shootout at the end for Renner, while Ben was watching, and Renner grabs the soda.
Oh yeah, just has the Coke. Yeah, and it's such a great moment, sort of, because you feel it. You sort of. And if you are hurt, I don't know if you ever broken a bone or something, but you get so thirsty.
Yeah.
Like this sort of your body goes into shock. You need some sort of something to drink, sort of. So you get that. You're sort of, and you feel relieved when you see him get that gulp, and you're like, wow, okay, he feels better now.
So good. That's a big one. That's a good one right there. And also, one of the other small fist bumps I had in the movie, it was kind of funny. After the nun robbery, and they're all driving away and everything going on, they stop right in front of them. They see the cop right there.
Oh,
and they look at them. They're just like staring down at each other.
Mutual understanding there. I want to go home. I've got a family. You guys can go. Like, but seriously, if you're in that situation, you do. I do the same thing.
Yeah,
I'll be honest. I would do the same
whatever.
thing.
What is he gonna do? He
Exactly.
knows they've been shooting out everybody. Like,
Yep.
I mean, at most, I would like look at it. I'd be like, okay, I see where they are. I'll tell them later that what I saw. But otherwise, yeah, I'm not gonna go against these guys. It's probably 1-on-5 with them, like the machine guns and everything. Like, fuck that. Fuck that. They're not hurting anybody right now. They're just getting away. Like, that's seriously. But we made for a nice little subtle moment there. Yeah, I like that. And also another small.
Sorry.
Another small fist bump is just Blake Lively in general, because I love Blake Lively.
She's great. She's freaking great. And she's at the stage of her career where she is not a very like she hadn't had really like big roles. She's been in like Gossip Girl, and she's been like this sort of, you know, I don't want to say eye candy, but that's what she kind of was. And from that point on, I feel like she's had way better roles.
Right. Oh boy.
There you go. You're zoomed out.
There we go.
You're back.
There you go. I'm back. Some people would say it was better the other way. But let's. All right.
Can you fix it? It's too sharp.
Too sharp. Yeah, too sharp. All right. So yeah, I give it to the town, and you two, you're giving it to the town as well.
Yeah, the town.
Okay, that makes sense.
Next one is, which one depicts the underbelly of law and crime better? That's a
hardest one.
Tough one, isn't it?
Because this is like what I said at the beginning of the show, or beginning of the category. It's like this is the difference between the style of movie they are, because the part is much more of an intricate based cat and mouse game between the cops and the mafia, whereas the town is much more less about the cops as far as that goes. There's not as much as you got the John Hamm stuff, but that's kind of just window dressing really compared to the earthy underworld of these 4 bank robbers who have hit couple different places, and they're running with the florist and how that works.
Exactly. The sort of back office dealings for criminals. Sort of, there is a system there. You wouldn't think, you'd think they're just chaotically running around. No, there's a system in place. And at the start of the movie, they say like bank robbers are like generational. It gets passed on from father to son, and people are proud to call themselves Saudis.
Right. Something right, exactly. There's a lot to it. I think, and in the weirdest way is like my initial. I went back and forth about 10 times in my mind. I went back, and finally I just closed my eyes and said, "What does your gut tell you?" And I said, "The town."
Same here. It does. It's exactly what we said. It feels more realistic. Like The Departed is a way better story. It has these holy shit moments. It has these flips and twists, but that's not really what, like, I wouldn't know, but that's not really what it's like.
I'm pretty sure. I don't know.
Let's move on. You can't
say anything.
They're listening.
They're listening. Oh man. Well, here's the problem. Guess what? We're tied again.
Dude,
tied 5-5.
Snap judgment.
Snap judgment. You're right. The snap judgment is 5-5. I thought the town at the Departed was going to win, hands down. Because at one point it was 5-1, but then the last 2 categories, we both went fist bumps and we both went in the underbelly of the crime.
How quickly do you think Ben and/or Drew would text you back? If you just went like
right now,
pop quiz,
because they're asleep. They are asleep.
Or in the town.
They're asleep right now. It's like 4:30 in the morning. It's like 4:30 in the morning over there.
All right.
This point,
one can hope.
One could hope. Yeah, I could try. If it was later on in the day, I would try, but I don't know if we could. I'm going to declare a winner anyway, though. I'm going to declare what my winner is anyway, overall, after looking at the categories.
We're going to end up tied.
Yeah, we probably are.
So you're going to go with The Departed. I'm going to go with The Town.
God damn it. All right, how did you? We got like 2 minutes left before I got to end this show. So how the hell am I going to? I don't want to have a second tie in a row.
I would say, can we watch trailers on here?
We could, but I don't know if we have. I don't. We can right now.
So that will take 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Also, the other one I always like to do is which has the better score, better music. But in this case, it's
we could do that.
Different because The Town has
soundtrack.
Town has a score.
Soundtrack.
Town has a score. The Departed has a soundtrack. Like Martin Scorsese loves his soundtracks. But apart from the what's the song? Not Luck of the Irish. The Irish song that gets played in the trailer as well. Yeah, that's Coming Up to Boston.
I do like that. I do like that quite a bit.
But Harry Gregson Williams, who did the score for The Town, that is an amazing score. No, dude, it's freaking amazing. So we're gonna end up tied again.
God damn
okay,
it.
Dude, let's flip for it.
We'll flip for it. Okay. We can't flip for it. All right, I'll give it to you. I'll give it to The Town. I'm really both on either way. I'll give it to The Town. Because it's one of your favorite movies, and it's not like I love both of them equally. I will give The Town the win. Barely the skip of the seat. It's a hung jury, but I will say that
you're making me feel bad now. Now I feel like I gotta know. Let's give it to Departed.
It's okay. No, it's okay. They're both good. Actually, impressive. It's actually an underdog win, which I kind of like to see also. So, all right, we'll declare it. Justice. I don't know if it's been served. I don't know if it's been served quite up, but we do have a winner. I know where The Town is going to be our choice overall. It is by the slimmest of slivers at this point. Maybe retroactively, I'll go back and say Inside Out one. I'll trade The Town for Inside Out.
I'm okay with that.
That's what we'll do. Retroactively, Inside Out won last time. The Town wins this time. We got to come up with a better system to break ties.
We do.
We really do. Good time. Anyway, now, Jerry, where can the folks find you?
You can find me at Richard Eric with a K Jarvi on Facebook and Instagram. And tune into PLD Views. We're going to be talking Star Wars.
PLD Project. PLD Views.
Sorry, PLD Views.
Show.
Yeah.
Correct. PLD Views is my show about View, which I haven't done in a while.
I remember it now.
PLD Project, Scoundrels of the Forest. Actually, by the time you see this, because I didn't even tell Jarvi when I'm going to air this, actually will have aired earlier this morning, I think. Scoundrels of the Forest with Jarvi, myself, Matty Gunner, and Bedore talking about the Phantom Menace, as well as some Star Wars news of the day. So go check that out. Also, you can find me with the WandaVision review we just had. Actually, it's one of those time things. When I'm recording this, I'm actually going to be recording the WandaVision review later on today.
I haven't watched it yet. The new episode, I havenn't watched it yet.
It's good. It's good.
This is what I'm going to do right after.
And beyond that, of course, on Call to Action, I do host a podcast on Call to Action. Well, co-host with about 10 other people where we talk about the movie Trivia Schmodown. So go there as well. Hit a like, subscribe, tell us what you want to see, because maybe we'll do it. You never know. We did this for somebody. Maybe we'll do something for you. But otherwise, justice has been served, I guess. It's all over. We're done here. Take care of yourself, guys. We'll see you later. Salute, man. Take care.